Hey everybody, quick one. Would you like to talk like Ted? No, not the animated character. The website, which is hugely informative, and it's where all the really intelligent and famous people go to articulate their stories, and we want to go and learn from. You know the one I mean, right? Now, one of my aspirations is actually to be on a TED talk. So I would actually have to find something that people wanted to really listen to. But I'd love to be able to give a talk on TED. I genuinely believe people are capable more than they realise, but until I can actually get that out there and get people listening to what I'm saying, it's going to be a bit of a pipe dream, but I'm working towards it. One thing I have noticed though is I've listened to a book called Talk Like TED, and there are some key themes in there that I think are worth sharing because they will help you in not only giving a presentation, but it's what they use on the TED speeches. So with that, I'm just going to dive straight in and give you them from the off. We talk about having 3 points. Make 3 points because the rule of 3 seems to resonate. 3 points means that people can understand it. You can set out where you're coming from, what you're going to do, and how it works. I'm sure you've seen it in presentations at work or in the office. That is the work. But I'm sure you've seen it in presentations whereby people go into all this kind of really nuanced detail and you really forget where it's coming from. Keep it simple. Go with 3 points. Of those 3 points, keep bringing it back to that main topic because people will understand where you're coming from. If you just bombard them with all this information, it's going to get lost in the ether. So remember, the rule of 3. 3 topics. 3 topics is what you want. Rule of 3. Got it? It's 3. How long is a talk, Ted? 18 minutes. Why is it 18 minutes? Because that's regarded as being the most optimum time to give a presentation. So the next time you're sat in a work meeting and it's 60 minutes long, the chances are it's going to be 42 minutes too long. 18 minutes is that prime time to keep people engaged and help them understand what it is that you're talking about. If it's going to be a 30-minute one, try building in some soft breaks. Ask a question or tell a story or just break up the flow of your talk. But 18 minutes has been proven through the TED Talks and other research that it is the optimum time to give a presentation. So next time you get asked, go for 18 minutes and make it a really good 18 minutes. In your TED Talk or your equivalent, tell stories. People remember stories more than anything else. If you tell a personal story or a story that accentuates the point you're trying to give, people will remember it. Stories are what bring facts to life. The book is so full of stories, and there's one with around Al Gore and talking about climate change, and the story that was told, it went viral. It went viral because it was a story that mattered to Al Gore and people got it. If you're just going to sit there and just bombard people with really boring stats and details, you're not going to get anywhere. But the story must be authentic. It's got to be real. People need to buy into you. As Simon Sinek will say, and he's got one of the highest watched TED Talks of all time, why, not what. People buy into why you're doing something, not what you're doing. So tell stories, but make it authentic. Magical number 7. It's generally thought that people will remember 7 things from your talk. Plus or minus 2 is generally the thought process. The more items you add, the less likely people are to remember them. Think about mobile phone numbers. How many times can you actually remember the sequence of numbers? Once you get past 7, you're probably going to struggle. People will always remember 3 or 4 things. The 5th, 6th, 7th, it gets a bit hairy after 7. It's generally thought that people don't retain that knowledge. So go with 7. 7 points is what you're trying to articulate. Less is more. Now there's a theory around a number of the TED Talks, they actually don't even get to 100 words in the entire slide until halfway through. This is freaking nuts. So that when we hear the less is more, we think, yeah, whatever. But this is where telling stories with pictures is 1,000 words. Don't go overboard on the words that you want to put on the slides because people will just tune out. Be courageous. Put less text and more visuals. People remember visuals. So don't get caught up in bullet points and small text. Cut that out. Less is most definitely more. So one thing you can do is create a message map. Your headline needs to be Twitter friendly, i.e. it should be captivating in 140 characters or less. Any more than that, and you can't articulate succinctly what the talk is all about, it's too wordy. Break it down. Number 2 is it needs 3 supporting messages, like the rule of 3 as we talked about at the beginning. It's got to support what you're trying to do. And the third part is you've got to reinforce those supporting messages with facts, stories, details, flavour, context, all of the elements that will help bring it to life. That's the essence of a TED Talk. You've got 18 minutes to use a captivating headline, to tell a story with 3 supporting messages using data, stats, facts, visuals, and your personal flair. Doesn't sound too overwhelming then, does it? You've now just got to find a topic to talk about and make sure that people listen to it, but there you go. Why are pictures so important? Because people are 6 times more likely to remember what you say when they see a picture. It just resonates and sticks in your brain. It's amazing. I don't quite know how it works, but it just means that pictures paint 1,000 words and it just captivates you. So use pictures in your talks. And please stick to the 18-minute rule. Don't think I'm special, don't think it's a really good topic. Stick to 18, give a brilliant presentation, and be done with it. So that's it. A very quick whistle-stop tour through a great book called Talk Like TED. If you want to help give a great presentation, and you know we're all stuck behind Zoom and we're all basically at the end of a TV screen, it would be great to be able to give captivating and enthralling talks. Please just find a really exciting topic to talk about. If it's paperclip collecting, I guess there's probably people out there that like it. If that's the case, remember, 18 minutes, rule of 3, use pictures, captivate the audience, tell stories, all that sort of good stuff. And that's it. Talk like TED in a few points that you can use next time you're going to give a presentation. And I hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.